Words can change your life.
Hi, I'm 13 years old. Now a little background. I am a middle child of 4 siblings, but my sister sadly passed away in the womb. For some years now I've been thinking of suicide. It started in about 2020 when I had my own gadget. I used to watch a lot of YouTube shorts, and most of the vids that came across were the POV siblings, where the middle child gets treated differently. And being a 9 years old at the time, the scolding for me was like abuse. So I started relating to those videos, and due to those videos I started feeling that no one loves me and cares about me. That feeling got more and more proof throughout those years. Because of my younger brother always framing me for his mistakes, which would turn into an argument and end with me being scolded and again being scolded at 9 go 12 feels like abuse, especially when it's not your fault. It ended in me slitting my wrist, having suicide fantasies, and drinking amounts of vitamin pills. I thought it would kill me, but it only made me sleep for more hours. Multiple times I got scratched by our cat, and instead of telling my parents I hid it hoping rabies would kill me. This changed today, when we had a recollection at school. It started of doing silly things with friend while the host is talking. Then we had an activity to make a letter to our parents. While I was writing, the host was giving out papers and I didn't know what it was until mine came. It was a letter from our parents. In my theory they were emailed to make a letter to us. When I opened mine up, it started with my mom telling me how she loves me. I didn't really care until I got I2. The middle part of the letter, it changed everything. It read, "Do you know you're my savior? Because when your sister passed away, God gave you to us. You're the one who gave us reason to live. You gave us joy to fight the sadness and grief." These words made me cry, something that I've never experienced since my grandpa passed away. Knowing that my parents value me just changes everything. I could have been dead in a couple of months if I hadn't read this. I just wanted to get this off my chest. I don't really have someone to open up to. The time I got into an Uber that wasn't an Uber. This is one of those things that just happened to me, and it was so bizarre that I didn't really think about it or talk to people about it until years later. I only just told my partner, of 5.5 years, and he was completely shocked I hadn't told him before. This was about 10 years ago. I had recently moved to Chicago and had been shopping at Target. Usually I walked home with my stuff. However, as it goes at Target, I ended up buying way too much shit and couldn't haul it home or on the bus. So even though I was broke, I ordered an Uber. Back in these days, a short Uber ride was like $5 to $6. The app said it had arrived, so I went outside and saw the car. Driver either had his windows down or I opened the door, can't remember which. I said, "For Bing_Bang_Bum?" Like normal, and he confirmed. He got out of his car and helped me load all my stuff into his trunk. Very nice of him. If I remember correctly, he had a strange vibe, stared a lot. Just kind of weird, but not anything I hadn't encountered before. I got into the car and I could tell he was a talker. I honestly don't remember what this guy looked like, other than small details like he was late 20s/early 30s and skinny, or what he was talking about. Just that he was talking a lot, asking me questions, etc., and something about it felt a bit uncomfortable. Anyways, we started driving, and very quickly I realized we weren't going the right way. This is pretty common in Ubers, so I didn't really think anything of it. I just said, "I think it's that way," or something along those lines, trying to politely redirect him. That's when he said, "I'm not actually your Uber driver." It was very purposeful, like not a mistake/wrong Uber situation. This guy was just sitting outside Target, alone, waiting for someone to get in his car. I remember him acting like it was normal and asking where I lived so he could still drive me home. I was completely dumbfounded. I honestly don't even remember if I panicked or what exactly happened. Pretty sure I just opened the door to get the fuck out while we were stopped, and at that point he must have opened the trunk for me because I don't think I lost all my shit. The adrenaline must have been crazy because I normally have a razor-sharp memory for weird experiences. I have no idea what his motive was. If he wanted to kidnap me, he did a terrible job. If he wanted to hit on me, he did a terrible job. If he wanted a friend, he did a terrible job. I didn't necessarily feel like I had dodged a bullet in terms of physical danger, but I definitely felt violated. It was honestly just the weirdest fucking thing. That time we were shot at and chased the whole night. I'm not sure what's compelled me to write this, but it is this crazy thing that happened when I was 15. I still think about from time to time. It's always stayed with me. So again, I believe was 15 at the time, and I am now 40 years old, so roughly this was in 1999. The backstory begins with my mom. Growing up, she always seemed to date the wrong kind of guy. My dad is completely out of the picture. I never met him. I grew up in a very biker-centric world. Cookouts and bars, motorcycle rallies, bike runs on holidays. I even went to Sturgis Bike Week when I was a wee toddler. Anyways, the point is my mom, being a biker, dated other bikers, some of which were in gangs. When I was 15, she began seeing this much older guy. I'll call him Dale. I don't actually remember his real name. And Dale was the former chapter president of the Hells Angels for our state. Dale had recently been in a fight with cancer he beat, which is irrelevant. Dale was totally cool with me. She seemed to argue a lot less with him than a lot her other old man, and it seems like a lot of other tough dudes really respected him, bought him beers and such. Anyways, on with the real story. We were driving home one night from my mom's shop, her business, the three of us in a single cab pickup truck. I'm in the middle, my mom is driving and Dale is on the passenger side. We always take the back roads home. We come up to be behind this biker that Dale seems to know, and we quickly have the attention of the guy in the bike. He slows down to a snail's pace, so my mom begins to pass them out. The guy speeds up. Suddenly Dale is hanging out the window. He and this biker are yelling shit at each other. I have no idea what nor would I remember. Pretty sure it wasn't pleasant. He tells my mom to speed up and dust this guy. She does, and suddenly I hear a crack and a ding on the side of the truck. We were shot at. Dale was very pissed. My mom had to continually pull him back through the window. So this guy is behind us, he's got a gun. My mom makes the decision that we cannot go home. We continue to going through these back roads, and all the while this guy is following on our tail, non-stop. Dale and my mom do a lot of back and forth on what to do. At one point Dale wanted to get out and just jump the guy. I was very nervous. I was voicing my own concerns. What is going on? Who is that guy, ECT? The mostly ignored me was once in a while my mom would say things to calm me. This guy's bike was much faster than our truck. He chased us and chased and chased. I remember we went through whole towns, got on the highway. Was on the highway for a good hour and a half, and at one point we thought we might have lost him, but he was still there. We got off and on the exit, and the guy got off and on the exit. I asked why don't we go to a police station. I was still being half ignored. My mom said Dale can't go to the police. I remember her asking him, is that so-and-so from the James gang? I remember Dale saying I know his cut, but it seemed like he didn't know exactly who the guy was. Sorry if this is going to sound a bit anticlimactic, but eventually the guy turned off and stopped following us. It just literally took all night. We went right into the wee hours of the morning. So I want to say the moment that started was around 9 o'clock, and I remember getting home at 2 a.m. The only thing my mom ever told me was that guy had some sort of beef with Dale, and she didn't want to stop and have me in further danger or have me witness something. She wasn't with Dale much longer. The only thing I don't get is why did we just go to a club or a bar where we know we would be protected? In the future I heard some other rumors that Dale wasn't actually welcomed in Hells Angels circles anymore. How I got the number of a 30-year-old woman, at 16. Turns out she made over $500K per year, and would later invite me to stay in her high-rise apartment in Manhattan. Let's start by saying, at the time of this story, I was 16. Not a baby-faced 16 though. I'd been able to grow a full beard since I was about 15 and a half, and hit puberty when I was around 11. Throughout all of high school, many people's immediate reaction to meeting me was, "You look like you're 22. I'm also fairly attractive. I sit at a cool 10% body fat, with a sharp jawline, straight teeth, and kind eyes, or so I've been told." I was at a waterside resort in a quaint beach town there celebrating a family member's engagement. Live music was blaring, the sunset was beautiful, and I was wearing a sharp pink polo, with black slacks and Onitsuka Tiger's kick. My friend was with me, and we were feeling utterly devious that night. I was approximately 2 or 3 shots deep at that point. I had drank some from the family's liquor cabinet before heading over to the celebration. Amidst the chaos of congratulatory family members and loud music, me and my friend had slipped away. We were searching for one thing and one thing only: baddies, and just as fate had come, there sat one. Now keep in mind, I was no stranger to game. I lost my V-card at 14, and by the time I was 16, I had been with quite a few baddies. Let's just say, I knew how to sweet-talk a girl. But in front of us sat a true baddie. There was only one issue. We saw her hitting a vape and drinking. We knew she was at least 21, but with this in mind, I still pressed on. I asked my friend, if I were to approach that girl, what would I say to her? And my friend responded, you would never approach that girl. Here's the thing you have to know about me. I don't back down from a challenge. Without missing a beat, I took the walk of doom towards the lady. You have beautiful eyes, I said with a sweet grin. Thank you, said the woman. For around 30 minutes we conversed, and snared in each other's gazes. During this time, I had found out that she grew up in New Jersey, but now worked in Manhattan for a stockbrokering company making around $500,000 a year. She had just taken the C streak down for a nice vacation away from all of her work. I had told the lady I was 18, taking a leap year from school after I had just graduated. The lady told me she was 30, but often confused for being younger, due to her baby face and small stature. I also told her that my friend was actually my little cousin, and he was here for the engagement party as well. At the end of the conversation, I asked for her number, and lo and behold, she put it in my phone, and texted herself from my phone, to make sure it went through. The following is the text chain that ensued later that night. Hey. That was a nice conversation, lol. My little cousin teased me ruthlessly though. You leave on Sunday, right? I'm name, by the way, full name delivered. Haha. Yup, I leave Sunday, ideally like 3 p.m. boat. I want to get back early enough to button a few things up before work. Just went to 711 and back. Fucker next to me 1000% snagged the jewel, but whatever. I got Marlboro Reds as a treat and a new jewel pod. It's nice to get away on a weekend. Resort is beautiful this time of year. Replying to message about jewel. Damn, that's crazy, somebody stole your jewel? Yeah, I left it by the bar when I was going to July 11th. It was gone when I came back. Yeah, it's nice being able to come for a weekend. I just take the boat down and check into the resort, and make them hold my luggage until room ready. Exactly. And now you definitely have a friend here, lol. For sure. I'm easy, beach, pool, booze, cigs and food. I'll be happy, lol. Yeah, honestly. Throw weed in there too and I'm very happy, simple. I could show you a good time though, YK I'm a local so I know all the good spots delivered. Yeah, you are also like 12. Very funny, I might be young but I'm ready delivered. Stop. Tell me more about yourself though, what's it like living in the city? I'm sure you get guys asking for your number all the time. Go to bed. I thought when we were first texting you were a bandmate I exchanged with tonight. Literally. Then I realized you were the teen. Love you and you are sweet. Go be a hawk on you are girlies you are age. You are sweet though. And go TF to college. Night love. Dang. Don't worry lol, I'll go to college soon. You'll always have a friend here in local town. Thanks for the nice conversation tonight, maybe I'll see you around. Delivered. So sweet, you'll always have a place to crash in Manhattan if you need it as well. Just call me. End of conversation. For anyone wondering, no, I never took her up on that offer. Although I still like to think that she would have me over if I called her. For anyone who thinks this story is full of shit, my friend recorded the video of me approaching her and talking her up. My friend is struggling. My friend, who I'll call MJ for keep his real name a secret, and no, he's not Michael Jackson, this is a friend who needs help and I need to vent out my concerns. MJ told me that he usually acts up when he's not on the call with me with his grandfather, as he usually fights or causes problems, or an argument, or something like that. MJ has been telling me he's been seeing his neighbors stare at him through the night at his window and animals being outside the house, but he didn't give me a clear story of what was going on, as I'm starting to think his lack of sleep is making him hallucinate things. MJ said he has been off his meds for a while and says he's doing better without them, but I've been noticing some cracks in him, and I don't think he's doing mentally well or psychologically well either. I want him to get help, but he said he was fine, and honestly I didn't believe it as he acted off for most of the time, and now to think about it, his stories sounded unhinged, like the one where he said his friend betrayed him and got a girlfriend he was about to ask out. But of course in the story MJ told, he got quote-unquote revenge on his friend for stealing his girl, and honestly that's the only story I remember, but I wish he could probably go to a psychiatric hospital right now and get back on his meds. I can't be worried for him, otherwise he'll accuse me of calling him crazy again, which doesn't matter, and I am just concerned for his well-being. And he already got a warning from the police at night when he went to his neighbor's property and caused a commotion to have the cops tell him, if he does that again he'll go to jail. So I'm concerned and I don't know how to handle it, but watch and fear for him and hope he gets better and support him no matter what. The time my friends and I almost got arrested trying to get revenge. Back in college, my buddies and I decided to take justice into our own hands. A family member of mine had been sexually assaulted by this absolute scumbag, and when we found out where he worked, a restaurant in the city 2 hours away, we knew what had to be done. The plan was simple: lure him into the bathroom under the guise that my buddy was sick, then handle business. So we drove all the way out there, parked outside, and went inside like normal customers. One of us played it up, pretending he was about to throw up and needed help. But somehow, this guy was onto us. Instead of walking in alone, he brought 4 of his coworkers with him. At that point, we were pissed. We weren't looking for an all-out brawl in a cramped restaurant bathroom, so we abandoned the plan and stormed out. But we weren't about to let it go. We started yelling at the top of our lungs that this guy, the one handling their food, was a predator. We made a scene, loud enough for every customer to hear. In our rage and stupidity, we even started punching holes in the walls of the restaurant before getting kicked out. Not exactly our smartest moment. After that, we made a very dumb decision: we waited in the parking lot. For some reason, we didn't process that the restaurant would obviously call the cops. We were too hyped, sitting there thinking, yeah, we'll get him when he gets off work. About 15 minutes later, I happened to glance behind us and, holy shit, at least 10 cop cars were flying straight toward us from down the street. My heart dropped. I turned to my buddy and said, "Dude, start driving." Slowly. We eased out of the parking lot just as the first cop cars pulled in behind us. They hadn't lit us up yet. They were still pulling in to talk to the restaurant. That gave us just enough of a gap to make a move. As soon as we hit the main road, my buddy floored it. 10 seconds later, the cops realized we were already on the move and came tearing out of the lot, sirens blaring. Now, here's where things got real dicey. We had a lead, but not a big one. The restaurant was in a weird, dark area with a lot of unlit roads. Up ahead, there was a sharp curve right before a stoplight. The cops were only a few seconds behind us. I made a split-second decision and told my buddy, "Drop to 25. I'm jumping out." The car was still in motion and all. I got a nasty road rash on my knee from this. My other friend didn't hesitate. He jumped too. We hit the ground running, then dove into the grass, laying flat in the darkness as the cop cars flew past us, still locked onto my buddy's car. For 5 minutes we crawled through this field like we were in a war movie, trying to stay hidden. Then my phone rang. It was my buddy. "Where do I pick you up?" Turns out, when the cops finally pulled him over, they searched the car. They expected to find 4 guys, the same 4 that had caused the scene inside. But when they looked in, they only saw my buddy, another friend, and, crucially, my female family member. She had never gone inside, so they had no idea there was ever a female. Thinking they had the wrong people, the cops let him go. We met up a few blocks away, shaking, still processing what just happened. We drove back to campus in complete silence for the first hour, just running through the absolute dumb luck that saved us that night. Lesson learned: vigilante justice is not as easy as it looks in the movies. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel.